Harper here with Tapere Hewitt from Hewitt Mortgages. Good afternoon, Tapere. How are you?
Kia ora, Kristen. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm just giving you a hard time. Giving you a hard time before this about how nervous I'm making you. Now, look, purpose of this quick chat is I want to understand a wee bit more about Hewitt Mortgages. Been working with you for the last 3-4 months. We've seen some really cool growth and different opportunities coming from different areas. But what I want to understand through this quick interview is understand more about you, what drives you, and what are you passionate about your business. But firstly, in a 30 seconds to a minute, tell me a wee bit about your story and about your business.
Oh, 30 seconds.
You like that? Just let's.
Yeah. Let's compress it. So first of all, I am a Cook Islander. I hail from the beautiful islands of Aitutaki and Rarotonga. Brought up in Hawke's Bay, and I'm really passionate about getting people onto the property ladder. And the reason why that is my passion is because I don't like being somebody else controlling my own destiny, and I want that for other people. I don't want other people to be controlled by a landlord. I want them to be able to control their own destiny and their own future and live life on their own terms.
And what was a real driver for you to, when you first started out? What was that sort of? I guess what was your catalyst to get into this? To set up your business and doing what you're doing now?
Yep. So the catalyst was so initially as my father, he really instilled into me that home ownership is important to ensure you provide a sense of safety, security, sense of belonging for your whānau. And too often I've seen a lot of our whānau grow up and and they're renting their properties and having to move houses purely because their landlords are wanting to sell the property or increase the rent. So that was the catalyst, really.
And in terms of Hewitt Mortgages, what makes you different from others that are out there? Because as we know, mortgage broking, the real estate is very, very competitive. There's a lot of them out there. It's hard to really get that cut through. Where do you see yourself differing from everybody else in the market?
I guess our point of difference at Hewitt Mortgages is not just our background and, being, I guess, a Pacific woman. I see that, less than 30% of Māori and Pacifica are homeowners. And our point of difference is that we understand, as Māori and Pacific, we understand the culture. We understand when you're growing up or when you're working, you're having to give money to the family. And we want to educate our whānau and teach them that if they channel their money a particular way and invest in something that's income producing, then it can help not just their whānau for today, but for future generations.
And that's what I've loved about working with you guys, because there's not only given that experience through what you guys do, but you actually give a shit. You've been through that journey yourself, and I know we've spoken about this even on our journey, being in property and all that. And I know when I first went into it, although I think I've sort of been around a wee bit and I've done a bit of stuff in business and travel and stuff like that, when it comes to looking at a house, it was real quite nerve-wracking because we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've enjoyed about us working together, is really just sort of understanding that there is a lot of heart and behind it, but there's a lot of real logic as well. And we've talked about that, and I think that leads into that money story as well, that money story that we tell ourselves. And can you talk to me a wee bit about that? Because I know it's another thing we've spoken about. You've got the mortgage side, but then there's that money matters. And we've had many discussions in terms of how we can, I guess, build our mindset to having a better relationship with money.
Yeah, I think, as Māori and Pacifica, we're not brought up talking about money. That is a kind of like a taboo subject amongst our whānau, and we want to change that. And It's all about, I guess, understanding, where your income's coming from, and when you're having to, I guess, acquire expenses, for example, a vehicle, or you're having to put something on the credit card. It's understanding why you're needing to do that. Is it because you need more education around budgeting? And a lot of the time it's that our whānau don't understand that actually if you have this goal in front of you, then you've got something to work towards. And then you can put a plan in place. So most of the time we're just living day to day. And that's purely because there is nothing in front of us to work towards. And so we want to educate our whānau that, hey, listen, if your goal is to purchase a home or your goal is to go on a trip, you're going to have to, put a budget together and, put a plan together and then manage that plan to achieve that particular goal. Yeah.
A big part of what you offer is really just around helping them with that plan and basically getting them from point A to point B to point C.
Yeah, for sure. So I like to talk to, when I'm talking to whānau, I like to talk to them about our story, and that's because they can relate to our story. So it's really, okay, the plan is, what is the goal first and what is your why? We really need to understand that. And I guess that's like yourself, Kristen, is understanding myself as your client. What is our why? So you can sort of get to know who I am and what I'm trying to achieve and why. And once we understand that, then we can put a plan in place for our whānau. It's usually just putting a budget in place. And it's not just about the budget. We can put the budget in place, but, are you going to commit? So it's really mindset as well. How bad do you want this goal? How bad do you want to achieve it? How important is it to you? And that's why it comes back to, what is your why? What is important to you?
What is your driver, right?
What is your driver?
And that was really our first day, was understanding that why as well, and getting really clear on that, because when things go to shit, and they do sometimes, it's just having that there in the background, like, I know this is the reason why I'm doing it, and it's just sort of sticking with that. Now, how do you think your business has evolved over the last sort of couple of years, and how do you see that going into the next 3 to 5 years?
Two questions. Sorry, I missed that first question.
It was a 2-question in one. I said, how's your business evolved over the last couple of years, and what is that vision over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. So, what's really interesting is I had no intention of getting into business when I started. I was just wanting to become broke, and that was it. And although I'd done a business course set around running your own business, I had never had any intentions of doing that. I just wanted to run somebody else's business. That was always me. But anyway, getting into becoming a mortgage advisor, I'm a control freak by nature, right?
No way. Really?
And I like shit to happen really, really quickly. And I really want to help motivate and inspire people to get things done. So in terms of business, it kind of just happened, by pure accident, really. And that I wanted things done a certain way. I wanted to move as quickly as possible to get as many people into homes, and I could only do that on my own terms, right? And so I constantly talk about living life on your own terms and controlling your own destiny. This is another way that I control my own destiny. Well, if I want to live under my own rules, then I have to, I guess, start my own business. And that's exactly what I did in 2020, so around the COVID time. So how has it evolved? It has really been quite an organic process for us. Even though I started the business in 2020, property investment and talking to whānau about property we've done this over the last 20 years. So so officially, yes, we started the business in 2020, but really we've been helping whānau get onto the property ladder over the last 20 years, and really proud of it. So our our business evolving has really just happened organically. Where are we going in the next few years? Well, we've got a few things up our sleeve, which obviously we're talking to you about. But anything we do will involve property. So we call it Property Matters.
Oh, I love that. And I love hearing about and seeing that journey even since we started working together. And you've come through some pretty tough times, as you said. We've gone through COVID. There's been I guess the financial situation, recession and all those sort of things. You seem to be bucking that trend, and you seem to, like, the whole time we've been working together, you're not talking about all the bullshit that's going on and the markets and all that, and business seems to be coming in. What do you think makes you, again, if we go back to, what do you think sets you apart from the others in the market when you're sort of bucking the trend when everybody else is trying to tighten up and stop doing things and talk about how hard it is? Because you've definitely been looking at things from a different angle, which is cool.
Yeah, I definitely like to look at things from a different angle. So when I stepped into mortgage broking, I mean, the first thing I was told was, Tapere, you probably wouldn't settle within the first 6 months, and I like to think when somebody says, well, you're probably not going to be able to do this, I'm kind of like, I'm up for the challenge. I'm like, well, okay, all right. And that's just my nature. That's the type of person I am. But when, of late, there's been a lot of doom and gloom around the housing market, and, people saying, oh my gosh, let's not, don't buy a house, do shares. And, people have been doing this or saying this for the past 20 years or even more. And so if I would have believed what they were saying way back when, then we wouldn't be where we are today. I really just like to understand what they're saying and take it with a grain of salt, really. But it's all about having, and as you keep saying to us, like, what's our plan? What is our goal? And not to say that we're not taking into consideration what these guys are saying, but we can, we're just like, okay, cool, yep, that's all good. But actually, if we just stick to this, if we have our goal and stick to our plan, then we'll get to wherever it is we want to go. Very positive mindset, I think. Even when, I guess, you feel like the world is crumbling around you. I have my little, have my little cry, and then I'm back up there again, like, right, what do we need to do? Reset, do this, do that. Yeah, so that's just me.
You just sort of, stuff has happened. Just get on with it. Now, how do you think your mindset or business has evolved since we've started working together?
Oh, look, when I met you, I think, so let's just for the listeners, Kristen. So we went to the Gold Coast to reset our business. My husband had stepped into the business. I'd been following you on LinkedIn for a while, like since you were in New Zealand. So I've been following you and like your posts and things like that. And and then so when we were going to the Gold Coast, I reached out to yourself, and I just knew you have that's something, that edge that I was looking for, which is that sales component, which we just don't have. And anyway, so you were able to sit down with us, sort of get to know us, understand what we're trying to achieve, and make us get really clear on our goals. And although in my mind, I think I'm really clear on my goal, it actually, when you unpicked all of that, we weren't extremely clear on how to get to where we were wanting to go. So the end goal's always been clear, but just how to get there hasn't been clear. And I think for yourself, you were able to make us get clear on our numbers, on our 30, 60, 90-day plan. And really break it down. And I think we just felt really motivated by the end of that, and shit just started to happen. As soon as we started to implement that, we had our weekly catch-ups and things like that. We really needed a good kick up the arse, and that has really helped our business.
Just that accountability piece, eh?
definitely accountability piece, and and the outcomes has been really, really cool. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. And I think the thing that I've noticed with you guys as well, and what happens when you, number one, have that accountability and you start to do this work as well, you tend to get all these other opportunities that come in
Yeah.
as well, like left field. And it's been quite cool to see, you've spoke in front of the New Zealand police, you've had all these
Yeah.
speaking spots and had opportunities to meet people from larger organizations that are very well connected. So when you start doing this work, it's not only what's in front of you, but once you start to put that out, and when we went through that visualization and getting really clear on what that endpoint would look like, doors just start to open up as well. And it's really cool that you've had these other doors just starting to open up as well, in addition to the stuff that you're doing as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it really helped me sort of articulate to the audience as well what it was we were trying to achieve as a business. So yeah, coaching has been amazing.
If there's anything you could leave with anybody in terms of either wanting to get into business like yourself or wanting to get into the property market, they are two very different things, but they still have that same outcome. What piece of advice would you give?
My advice would, you need a coach. You absolutely need a coach. So I would view myself as a coach in property, all things property. And if it's regarding your business, you do need a business coach and somebody who will hold you to account. But again, it's about getting clear on what you guys are trying to achieve as a business, and then getting that coach to challenge you on some of the things you're wanting to achieve, and then help you with that whole accountability piece. So for us, every single week we had to check in. We were like, oh my gosh, we've got to get these things in, and it really helped our business evolve over that period of time. And we've done things in a short space of time that we would never have done in a year at all. So
And the other things that we've been talking about, which I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you.
Yeah.
So cool. Tapere, I love your work. Thank you for your time. And we look forward to sharing this.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kristen.
Cheers.